Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the 23.0 update, which comes with some big updates to how the shop is laid out, potentially some new additions in the shop as well, which we're going to look at in the beta regions, and also some changes to some game mechanics which could have some wider implications when it comes to things like splash damage, collateral damage, and rampage. So here is the full update. It says beta update, new shop. War never changes, but shops do. We're preparing some major quality of life updates coming soon to our game, and the first one we want to show you is our brand new shop. We revamped the shop to have a new look and feel and provide you with an easier time navigating and finding exactly what you want. In addition to the shop update, camouflage has been updated. Any characters with camouflage will still retain all the benefits the skill previously had. However, characters with camouflage can now no longer be hit by splash damage from auto attacks and rushes. Try out this new powerful effect by picking up Mike and Zoo in the beta season store. You can test them out in the beta exclusive Firewood roadmap. First things first, we need some volunteers to make sure everything is shipshape and ready for sale. Join our beta program, be the first to check out our brand new shop and give us a hand while you're at it. We've added a few missions to help guide you through all the new features. All the details you need to join are right here, and there's a link in this blog. Beta is currently only available to Android users. Join our beta and check out our shop today. If you do join the beta or you're already in there, you will have some missions where you'll gain some coins. You know, you're a beta tester, you're going to be rewarded for doing that. So let's take a look at the updates to the shop and also a better look at what the changes to camouflage could mean. So here we are in the beta region, and as I said, if you go to your missions tab and events, you'll see there's enough coins here. I think it's 150 from these missions, but there are also some extra coins here and there. In the roadmap, there are 10 coins for completing the roadmap. You can do this twice in the next 3 days to 5 days. You will get these pieces of firewood every time you log in. I got 15, and I also got some coins just for logging in. Now when we go to the new shop, you can see on the right hand side there are new sections, and it does look a little bit overcomplicated at first, but it's actually very simple. The featured section is still the featured section, the offers section is still the offers section, and this is quite good. Obviously you can have daily, monthly, and specials, and I'm assuming specials would be things like the free ones, basically like this one. When you claim a free offer, you get the coins and stuff in beta, but in the normal game, once you've claimed everything, it will say there are no more offers. Daily, you can buy this for 1 coin, you get 3 coins back. This is just to test out that these functions are actually working. So you do get a little bit more coins than you're putting in beta, and like I said, you're just going to get a little bit more coins back every time you do it. And your coins are going to go up, but it's also testing out the functionality. In the featured section, there is also something else here where it says firewood. This could be where it breaks it down by event. When something is added to the shop, it will mark up as a red. You can see the red numbers in the other boxes. You just simply claim, and it probably will disappear here. There we go, the tab has disappeared. Now, you'll probably notice there is no free coins here anymore, and that's because it's in the coins section on the far right hand side. It just says watch video and then get offers below in terms of the Tapjoy offers. You can still get into this in the old school way. If you click on the TV screen in the sort of athletics arena, you click on that and it brings up the free coins as usual. But if you want to get it through the shop, that's how you get to it, on the coin section. Now I'll go through the other sections as well. In here, it's just going to be the general update, and it's normal things like buying food, buying cans, buying ceasefires, that sort of thing. Most likely not many people buy stuff in here, just saying. Then you've got the league store in here as well. In the beta section, it's just to test out, and then again, it's part of the missions. Buy Lao Po gets you 25 coins in your missions. Buying this shotgun gets you 25 coins in your missions, and this is just to test out that it's actually working. Now these 2 characters that you get here is to test out the functionality of camouflage, because camouflage has been updated, of course. And when you go away from that, it should update. There we go. And the supply depot is here as well. And then within the supply depot, there are 4 different things here, as you can see at the top. And you can buy each of the stuff in here. This is in beta. These are the beta costs. Obviously, it's going to be much more expensive in the main game, but this is just to test out the functionality. If you want to, you can buy the mods. Not a big deal in beta. You know, you shouldn't really be playing in beta too much, just testing out the functionality of new things added. and you can see that it updates the currency that you've got in the top left hand corner as you go to the different part of the supply depot. Now, something that is brand new is the black market, as you can see. Now, right now it has Pete Anderson in here, and it also has Priya, and it's where you spend your medals, which you can get in beta just from doing the roadmap, from accepting the offers. But in the future, this could be where they start selling shards. They could have a shard exchange. It's unclear, as they haven't really broken down within the beta update what this is going to be. This is brand new. They haven't talked about the black market at all. But I'm guessing there's going to be a future update in terms of just them telling us what this means. This probably will be in beta for the next week or two. And it looks like they're going to be focusing on quality of life stuff right now. This is the first thing they're focusing on. I do hope they look at a lot of other things. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need some quality. Nice quality of life updates. Roster definitely needs some love because it's so hard to find a character in your roster if you want to. Obviously, the raid system is terrible. You do not know what team you're coming up against 99% of the time. Survival road system is terrible because you spend half your time just making your teams now. Where the old survival road was fine just because you could hit autofill, not so much these days. So it does look nice in terms of the new shop update. I am liking it. The layout is much more simplified. It's better than like going in and out loads of places. It's just one place and you can easily get around if you so wish, just clicking around, nice and easy. You can go to any league. Like, you don't have to go into the league store. Before you'd have to go into leagues, but it's no longer there, but into leagues, and then go to the league store in the bottom right hand corner, then into season store. Right now it's just 2 buttons, which is great. The less clicks you have to get into a place is much better. It's a much better quality of life update, and that's a good thing in my opinion. Once you've completed those missions, you can just hit claim all and you will get the coins for the ones you've completed. The other ones are collect Pete Anderson and collect Priya. These ones will take a little bit of time because you have to do the daily roadmap to get the extra medals, and you have to log in every day to get the extra medals. The last one here is to watch a free video. I think I'm up on my free video, so it shouldn't show me. There we go. So I'll just get 25 coins for watching a free video, which is great. And to get the last 75 coins, I'll have to probably log in for the next 3 days and get the roadmap completed on both, every single region if I want to do it on every single region. And I'll get 10 coins for each one, and I'll get 25 for each stage. So I'll get 150 more. And I'll get some more medals every day I log in as well. So in one of the beta regions, I have managed to get enough of the medals to claim Priya or Pete, and I'm going to claim Priya. And you get her straight up as an S class. She's going to be tier 1, level 1. This is going to help you in beta in terms of testing stuff, but you'll also get the 25 coins for completing that mission. Nice and easy. So I only have one mission to do, and that's to collect Pete, and that will take a couple of days to get the amount of firewood needed, to get the amount of medals needed, and I'll get 25 more coins for him, and then I'll get 25 coins for full completion. This is, like I said before, the bonus for being in beta and for testing out the new beta functionality. So as was also mentioned in the update, there is going to be a change to how camouflage works, and I'll read it out because it has actually been updated in the in-game description in beta. It says a character under the effect of camouflage is immune to damage and effects from enemy abilities if they are not that enemy's primary target. This character also becomes invisible to walk enemies and will not be attacked or seen as a target to move towards while the camouflage is active. So obviously the second half of this has been the way camouflage has always worked in terms of being invisible effectively. However, the first part is the new addition to how camouflage has worked. We have had big updates in the past with certain changes to certain effects, like we had taunt changes where every taunted attack would be a guaranteed 5 AP gain, regardless of how much damage a character took. We also had changes to how Guardian Shields work, where Guardian Shields could have actually Guardian themselves when they do their Guardian Shields, and not other people first and themselves last. So there have been changes in the past, and this is another change. Personally, I'm all for this. I prefer things to be changed routinely, much more routinely than they've currently done. I mean, every month. I think there should be some new additions, some tweaks to how certain things work to balance the game. And this has been brought in purely to balance the game right now, because there is obviously a big problem within the game when it comes to Rampage being massively powerful compared to the rest of the game's abilities, and camouflage has been brought in to try and balance that to a certain extent. Now, I think a lot of people will think that Rampage has been nerfed. There's been no change to Rampage. Rampage will work exactly the same way as it always has. However, if someone has the ability of camouflage on them, they will not take the damage of the Rampage. So that's the only change. Rampage is still as powerful as it ever was. It's just it has a counter now, and that is a good thing. For instance, if you look back to when payback characters were introduced, they were extremely powerful. There was no counter. Then Normalize was introduced to counter that, and that's balance. That's how balance works. Now, camouflage can obviously not be resisted, but it can be removed, because if you look at Priya's active skill, her active skill says remove positive status effects from the enemy. Now, the initial cooldown of this can go down to 3, so you can get this removed on turn 3, which is generally when majority of teams are going to be rushing. You can rush earlier. You can remove this on turn 3. So if you have 2 Priyas, you can have one remove the status effects, which would include camouflage, and then rushes would still do Rampage. So there is ways around this. Right now, there aren't too many characters with camouflage. There is basically this within the 6 stars. There might be the odd other one. There are obviously some 5 stars and 4 stars and 3 stars, but I'm going to leave those out. These are the main characters that have camouflage. Gator might give camouflage to everybody on your team, and I believe Zoo and Rose only give it to 2 to 3 other teammates. I have got no doubt there will be S-class characters coming out in the future who do have camouflage. I think having an early camouflage active, for instance, like all teammates get camouflage for 1 turn, wouldn't be too strong. Just basically stopping the early basic attack Rampage damage. I think rush Rampage damage, obviously, like I showed before, can easily be bypassed, just because you can actually remove those positive effects with a second Priya if you have one. A lot of people have 2 to 3 Priyas as well, especially people who are built Rampage attack teams, so it won't be too much of a problem with them. It will just make raids last a little bit longer than before, potentially, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Rampage, like I said, was just far too powerful. So I'm going to test this out. I'm going to take in 4 collateral characters. I'm going to wait until Gator's camouflage pops, and then you'll see that no collaterals actually happen when you see collateral actually take place, which means when I crit somebody, there'll be no collats. Let's just have a little test against this team. I'm just going to defend with everybody. Wait until Gator gets his rush. Kara might actually take a bit of damage here. Well, Gator's got his rush now, so the next turn should be good. Now, everybody's got camouflage. As you can see the skull on everybody. Now, if I attack somebody and I hit a crit, as long as I hit a crit, there we go. You could see there was these markers around that sort of absorbed the damage, and only the central character got the damage. If the hit crits happen, nothing happens. There we go. You can see it's a blue skull. That means the collateral damage did not take place. This is going to happen with Rampage. It's going to happen splash damage on weapons. Anything that does extra attacks. Now, there are certain specialist abilities that also do this, so I'll test that out with those. Okay, so now I'm going to take in this team, and I'm just basically going to try and do a rush with the waste knot. As long as it takes down a character, we'll see if the damage bypasses or not. So we'll just do the same as before, but this time we will attack with the 2 Shawns, and this is just to get a little bit of AP, and we will have to attack with him. And then we're going to do the same again. This time we won't attack with the top Shawn, because the top Shawn is a problem. This Shawn's a problem, so we won't attack with him. Okay. So we'll get the rush. What we'll do is we'll boost the damage. So this character does a lot of damage. We're going to attack the Yvette. It should also damage or kill this character, but we'll see if it passes on damage to this one. Now, it actually might not hit this character because this is the target of the rush. We'll have to see. Let's see what happens. Yes. Even adjacent damage gets blocked, not just effects from... So normally he would do AoE damage, and now it becomes single target damage. This is going to affect a lot of rushes. Anyone who does more than 1 hit line damage, or like Michelle's rush where she attacks one and attacks another, it's unclear if the effects will still take place. If it blocks the damage, will the effects still take place? I'll test that out now. Okay, so this is going to be the team I'm going to take in. We have got Diego, who's got AoE damage, but he also has effects when that lands. So we're going to be able to see if the effects get blocked, not just the damage. Now, Nox has got a line damage. I assume line damage is also going to have the same issue where it's only going to target the first person and the one in the line is not going to be affected. I'm taking Frost, obviously. He's a bit of a more beefed up shield just to defend my guys, but also Dale just to command someone if I so need to. So we're going to attack exactly the same team. Now, I have got stun weapons, unfortunately, and they are going to go off. They are going to go off. We're going to have to get some AP. And we'll just shields, same as always. He will get his rush up the next turn, which is normal, which is great. And we will do this. And we're going to command Diego now. And we're going to see, does it also block effects or just the damage? You can see the damage getting blocked with the animation. It does not block the effects. The effects still work. So for instance, Michelle, when she does hers, would stun people because you can see everyone is impaired and defense down still. So that's obviously a good thing. We will see how long does the camouflage last for. We might have to restart the raid. We're going to have to restart the raid, but we'll see if it does the same with line damage. Okay, so we're going to take in this team and we're going to basically do the same situation, but we're not going to attack with Diego because we just don't need to do the damage. We're going to get Nox his rush if we can, and yes, defend. We'll command him this turn and let's see what happens. Now he does have a line rush, as you can see, deal 375% damage and 460 bleed damage for 2 turns to a line of enemies. That should be a line attack and we'll see what happens. Okay, it didn't show the animation of it blocking the damage, but it did block the damage. I'm not actually sure if he does a line attack because the wording there is a little bit off. But he didn't do any damage and it did do line bleed. So we'll attack another team just to make sure. So attacking another team, this is literally just to make sure. Just to see if he still does line damage or not. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, does he do line damage? And he does normally do line damage, so it definitely did block the damage. It just didn't show the animation, so that is an issue. This is what beta's all about. It doesn't seem to show the block animation for line damage, and it probably won't do the same for rushes like Michelle's either, but it did do it for Diego's. Okay, so now we've got the same situation, but we're going to test out Waste Not. I'm not sure if she'll do enough damage, so I'm going to do the rush of Diego first, and I'll do it on the weakest character, who I believe is going to be Sue, because he's the non-upgraded character. He will take a lot of damage, but he will be defense downs, as you can see. Now, she will definitely kill him here with her rush. This is Aiko. She has got Waste Not, which means that when she kills a character, an adjacent character will take the sort of leftover damage, and we'll see if that is blocked by camouflage or if it is not. So here we go, we're going to rush. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it did actually go to Tyrese and he did block it, so it does also block Waste Not damage as well. So it does look like any non-targeted damage, no matter what source it is from, specialist skill, rush, weapon, active skill, anything, it'll be blocked if it is doing actual damage. However, effects are not going to be blocked. You'll see bleed, you've seen defense down, you've seen impair. You've seen all of those happen no matter what. Now, like I said before, there is a ways around this. There is going to be Priya who can remove positive status effects, and that is going to be camouflage. Now, my Priya here has not got any upgrades on her. You don't get any Ulysses in beta, so I cannot upgrade her, but it will remove positive status effects from 1 enemy. When you have her fully maxed out with her active, it will be 2 enemies. Okay, so we're a few turns into this raid, and as you can see, everybody's got camouflage because this gator did just pop off. This gator already has done his, so a couple have got 2 turns. This character in the bottom right hand corner, for instance, has a bunch of buffs, but it includes camouflage. If I do Priya's active, it will remove every single buff. That includes camouflage, so there is definitely ways around this. There will be, no doubt, more characters to come out in the future to remove positive effects as well, because with this, they become more effective. So it just brings a little bit more of a layer of strategy into Rampage, rather than the skill ceiling being massively lowered because of the power of it. So obviously what this means is Gator is now OP. Well, not really, because he is a 6-star. There aren't many characters that have obviously got camouflage. There are only a bunch that I showed before. There may be 1 or 2 others that I haven't really thought about, but no one really spectacular actually has camouflage, so it's not a problem just yet. This could change in the future, of course. We'll no doubt see characters come out that have camouflage for defense teams, be it on their actives, their rushes, or maybe even their leader skills. Now, I saw this question around on the forums. I did ask on my live streams, and the majority of people, when it came to Rampage, did not want any changes to Rampage to actually take place, but more so to have something to come into the game to change how Rampage works. And that's what camouflage is going to do. This is basically what people requested. People who had Rampage, people who are effectively abusing the power of Rampage, didn't want any change to it. So this is what had to happen, and this is what is going to happen. I personally think it's a good thing. Like I've always said, increasing the skill ceiling, making something a little bit more strategical and make it require a little bit more brain power to actually use is a good thing. Having something that's really basic and just easy to just hit and not really think too much is very, very, very boring and very, very, very bad for the game. The people who had Rampage for the last couple of months have definitely benefited from it. Now they have to come back and just sort of play the game that everyone else is, pretty much. I'm in the same boat. I have 2 regions, one with Rampage, one without, and there is a big difference, I'll tell you that. But that is the end of my video. Do tell me what you think about the update 23.0. It is in beta right now. If you want to sign up, there will be a link in my description. That is in my video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.